They woke before the sun ever dared to rise. Not because they wanted to, but because they had no choice. The air was cold in the early morning, heavy with silence. No birds sang for them. No comfort waited. Only the distant sound of footsteps and the knowledge that another day of suffering had already begun. In the fields of cotton, stretching endlessly across the land, men, women, and even children walked slowly, their bodies already tired before the work even started. Their hands were scarred, their backs bent, their spirits worn down by years of pain that never seemed to end. The cotton looked soft, almost beautiful from far away, but up close, it was something else entirely. Each plant was covered in sharp edges that cut into their fingers. Every handful they picked left behind small wounds. Blood mixed with the white fibers, unnoticed, uncared for. The sun would rise higher, burning their skin, draining what little strength they had left. They were watched, always watched. Overseers stood nearby, their eyes cold, their presence a constant threat. There was no room for slowing down, no space for rest. If someone paused, even for a moment, punishment came quickly, and punishment was never small. It came in the form of whips that tore into flesh. It came in screams that echoed across the fields. It came in fear, fear that lived inside them every second of every day. This was life. Not for a day, not for a week, for years, for generations. Families were torn apart without warning. A mother could lose her child in a single moment, sold away, never to be seen again. A husband could be taken from his wife, sent to another plantation, leaving behind nothing but silence and grief. Love existed, but it lived in fear. Hope existed, but it was fragile. At night, when the work finally ended, they returned to small, crowded quarters. Their bodies ached in ways words cannot fully describe. Some cried quietly. Some stared into the darkness. Some prayed. They prayed for freedom. They prayed for an end to the suffering. They prayed for a life where they could simply exist as human beings. But even in those quiet moments, fear never left them, because tomorrow would come, and tomorrow would be the same. In the United States during this time, slavery was not just a system, it was a belief built on racism so deep that it stripped people of their humanity. Black men, women, and children were not seen as people, but as property. They were bought, they were sold, they were controlled, their names, their cultures, their identities taken from them, all because of the color of their skin. Racism wasn't hidden, it was everywhere. It lived in laws, it lived in conversations, it lived in the way people looked at them or refused to see them at all. And yet, even in the darkest moments, there was something that could not be completely taken away. Strength. A quiet, powerful strength that lived inside them. It was in the songs they sang under their breath while working, songs filled with pain, but also with memory. It was in the way they cared for each other, shared what little they had, protected one another in small, silent ways. It was in their ability to endure, even when the world gave them every reason not to. Their lives were filled with suffering, yes, but they were also filled with courage, with resistance, with humanity that refused to disappear. This history is painful, it is heavy, it is uncomfortable, but it is real. And it must be remembered, not just for the suffering, but for the strength of those who lived through it. Because behind every cotton field, behind every scar, behind every tear, there was a person, a life, a story, that deserves to be heard.